Chapter 6 of the Defiant Agents. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Recording by R.J. Davis. The Defiant Agents by Andre Norton. Chapter 6. The night comes, Taussig spoke slowly in English. Do these you fear hunt in the dark? She shook her head to free her forehead from a coil of braid, pulled loose in her struggle with Travis. They do not need eyes or such noses as those four-footed hunters of yours. They have a machine to track. Then what purpose is this brush pile of yours? Travis raised his chin at the disturbed hiding place. They do not constantly use the machine, and one can hope. But at night they can ride on its beam. We are not far enough into the hills to lose them. Baatur went lame, and so I was slowed. And what lies in these mountains that those you fear dare not invade them? Travis continued. I do not know, save if one can climb far enough inside, one is safe from pursuit. I ask it again. Who are you? The Apache leaned forward, his face in the fast-fading light now only inches away from hers. She did not shrink from his close scrutiny, but met him eye to eye. This is a woman of proud independence, truly a chief's daughter, Travis decided. I am of the people of the Blue Wolf. We were brought across the star lanes to make this world safe for the... She hesitated, and now there was a shade of puzzlement on her face. There is a reason, a dream. No, there is a dream and there is reality. I am Kaydessa of the Golden Horde, but sometimes I remember other things, like this speech of strange words I am mouthing now. The Golden Horde? Travis knew now. The embroidery, Sons of the Blue Wolf, all fitted into a spatial pattern. But what a pattern! Skyatian art? The ornament that the warriors of Genghis Khan wore so proudly? Tartars, Mongols, the barbarians who had swept from the fastness of the steppes to change the course of history, not only in Asia but across the plains of Middle Europe? The men of the Emperor Khans who had ridden behind the yak-tailed standards of Genghis Khan, Kublai Khan, Tamerlane? The Golden Horde, Travis repeated once again. That lies far back in the history of another world, Wolf Daughter. She stared at him, a queer, lost expression on her dust-grimed face. I know. Her voice was so muted he could hardly distinguish the words. My people live in two times, and many do not realize that. Taussig had crouched down beside them to listen. Now he put out his hand, touching Travis's shoulder. Redax, or if like, for Travis was sure of one point. The project, which had been training 3 teams for space colonization, one of Eskimos, one of Pacific Islanders, and one of his own Apaches, had no reason or chance to select Mongols from the wild past of the raiding hordes. There was only one nation on Terra which could have picked such colonists. You are Russian. He studied her carefully, intent on noting the effect of his words. But she did not lose that lost look. Russian? Russian? She repeated, as if the very word was strange. Travis was alarmed. Any Russian colony planted here could well possess technicians with machines capable of tracking a fugitive. And if mountain heights were protection against such a hunt, he intended to gain them, even by night traveling. He said this to Taussig, and the other empathically agreed. The horse is too lame to go on, the younger man reported. Travis hesitated for a long second. Since the time they had stolen their first mounts from the encroaching Spanish, horses had always been wealth to his people. To leave an animal which could well serve the clan was not right, but they dared not waste time with a lame beast. "Leave it here, free," he ordered. "And the woman? She goes with us. We must learn all we can of these people and what they do here. Listen, Wolf Daughter." Again Travis leaned close to make sure she was listening to him as he spoke with emphasis. "You will travel with us into these high places, and there will be no trouble from you." He drew his knife and held the blade warningly before her eyes. "It was already in my mind to go to the mountains," she told him evenly. "Untie my hands, brave warrior. You have surely nothing to fear from a woman." His hand made a swift sweep and plucked a knife as long and keen as his from the folds of the sash beneath her loose outer garment. "Not now, Wolf Daughter, since I have drawn your fangs." He helped her to her feet and slashed the cord about her wrist with her knife, which he then fastened to his own belt. Alerting the coyotes, he dispatched them ahead, and the three started on, the Mongol girl between the two Apaches. The abandoned horse nickered lonesome and then began to graze on tufts of grass, moving slowly to favor his foot. The two moons rode the sky as the hours advanced, their beams fighting the shadows. Travis felt reasonably safe from any attack at ground level, depending upon the coyotes for warning. But he held them all to a steady pace, and he did not question the girl again until all three of them hunkered down at a small mountain stream, to dash icy water over their faces and drink from cupped hands. "Why do you flee your own people, Wolf Daughter?" "My name is Kaydessa," she corrected him. He chuckled with laughter at the prim tone of her voice. "And you see here Tsoay of the people, the Apaches, while I am Fox." He was giving her the English equivalent of his tribal name. "Apaches?" She tried to repeat the word with the same accent he had used. "And what are Apaches?" "Indians, Amerindians," he explained. "But you have not answered my question, Kaydessa. Why do you run from your own people?" "Not from my people," she said, shaking her head determinedly. "From those others. It is like this. Oh, how can I make you understand rightly?" She spread her wet hands out before her in the moonlight, the damp patches on her sleeves clinging to her arms. "There are my people of the Golden Horde, though once we were different, and we can remember bits of that previous life. Then there are also the men who live in the sky ship and use the machine so that we think only the thoughts they would have us think. Now why," she looked at Travis intently, "do I wish to tell you all this? It is strange. You say you are Indian, American. Are we then enemies? There is a part memory which says that we were. Let us rather say," he corrected her, "that the Apaches and the Horde are not enemies here and now, no matter what was before." That was the truth, Travis recognized. By all accounts, his people had come out of Asia in the very dim beginnings of migrating peoples. For all her dark red hair and gray eyes, this girl who had been arbitrarily returned to a past just as they had been by Redax could well be a distant clan cousin. "You," Kaydessa's fingers rested for a moment on his wrist, "you too were sent here from across the stars. Is this not so?" "It is so." "And there are those here who govern you now?" "No, we are free." "How did you become free?" she demanded fiercely. Travis hesitated. He did not want to tell of the wrecked ship, the fact that his people possessed no real defenses against the Russian-controlled colony. "We went to the mountains," he replied evasively. "Your governing machine failed," Kaydessa laughed. "Ah, they are so great, those men of the machines, but they are smaller and weaker when their machines cannot obey them." "It is so with your camp?" Travis prodded gently. He was not quite sure of her meaning, but he dared not ask more detailed questions without dangerously revealing his own ignorance. "In some manner their control